Hello, Zoom here. Welcome to part 2 of how I retouch my images. If you want to check how we remove the blemish, you can check the description up here. Just click on it and watch that video before you continue. So after removing the blemishes up, right now the next thing to do is to do frequency separation. Frequency separation separate the image into two different layers of color and texture. So you have your color layer and a texture layer out of the same image. So it's a technique that we use to separate the colored layer from the texture layer so we can work on those two layers separately. Alright, so without much ado, let's zoom in. So to start with frequency separation, you need to duplicate this layer twice. So on my mark, press Command J 2 times and my image will be duplicated. So for that, I'll rename this layer the low layer and the layer copy one as the high layer. So you can disable this high layer and then select the low layer. Now go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Now we are going to blur this layer, but we still want to see a little bit of texture. Don't blur it completely. This part is very important because this is what to actually do the separation, the correct separation of the colored layer from the texture. So I can increase the radius of the blur till I think I can only see small texture. Is too much somewhere here. 9.3 will be fine for me. I click OK. Now I can now activate the high frequency, the high layer. Go to image, apply image, then now I have to select from this layer. I have to select the low layer. So I'll select the low layer, and then this blending I have to go to subtract. My opacity will be 100 and scale 2 and the offset 128. Click OK. And I change the blending mode to a linear light. Yes. So what we just did so far is to separate this background image into the colored layer and the textured layer. We name the colored layer the low layer and the textured layer the high frequency. You can select these two and then Ctrl G to create a group for them. I'll name the group frequency separation. Alright, so there's no difference between the two images, the same thing, just the same image that are separated into two different layers. So to do frequency separation non-destructively, I have to duplicate the low layer, Ctrl J, select the low layer, press Ctrl J to duplicate it, and then on my mark, Alt, then I'll clip it down to the low layer. The high texture is a bit technical. When you duplicate it, becomes the texture becomes double what you have here. So when you duplicate it, press the Alt and clip it here. It even become worse. So what you need to do is to change the blending mode to normal. Then we are back to normal. So you are actually going to work on the low copy and the high copy so that you will not have to delete the low layer or the high layer whenever there is a mistake. This is what I mean non-destructive way of doing frequency separation. So to work on the low layer, I select the low layer and then take my mixture brush. I usually work around 25 wet. This actually depends on the image. The load 25, and then I mix it around 15%, and then flow 33. Now with the mixer brush, it's not like the other brush that you have to sample and paint. Try not to drag from the highlights into the shadow or from the shadow, but you work within the highlights and work within the shadows as well. But sometimes you need to create that smooth gradient by just working at the edges of the shadows and highlight to create that gradient. I just work on it, paint around this gradually. Sorry, I forgot one thing. You need to deactivate this and then select this. Select this brush so that we will not have white. The brush will be clean after you paint. So when you select this to paint, anytime you paint and you're going to paint another plate, it cleans the brush for you automatically. So I hope you are seeing some changes already by me painting. Just have to paint, no sampling. Work around. Alright, so just what little we do, let's look at the before and after. So this is the before, this is the after. So be careful not to overdo it, either you change the face of the model total. So in order not to bore you, I'll just So let's jump into the texture layer right now. So what I'll do is I'll use the clone tab tool, which is right here, clone tab tool. So I set my everything to 100%, my opacity 100%, flow 100%, and then sample current layer. So I can set the brush hardness a little bit around maybe 17%. Now zoom in. Then I'll sample, minor adjustment, and click here. Sample, click here just to remove this, the stray hair on her face. You don't need to do this so much. It should look like a doll. You have to leave some of the blemishes so that your model will look like a real human being, not with a plastic skin. So this one, sample the layer close to where you want to paint and paint it. Please don't sample from a highlighted layer into a shadow. You sample close to where you want to paint. So in order not to bore you, I'll speed up this image. When I'm done, I'll show you the before and after. Okay, I think I'm pretty done here for now. So let me show you the before and after. See, before before and after. Just a little change. It's not so much. Look real. Yeah. So that's it. That's how I do my frequency separation. Hope you've learned something new today. Those who already know frequency separation, I hope you learned a few tricks here and there. So the next step, part 3, will be our dodge and burn. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell notification so that I get a new video when I'm done with releasing a new video. And also like my videos. Thank you. See you.